Now let's create our schema in store schemas.py. I'll create a new module here called schemas.py, and here right up at the top I'll import from Ninja import schema. Now I'll create our first schema, and I'll explain this in a moment. Product schema, and we'll inherit from schema. So Django Ninja uses Pandatic style schemas for request, response, validation. So we shall use the product schema for validating our responses. And these will have attributes that match what we have in our models. So in the response of a product, we shall need an ID. So you type the attributes name, full colon, then its type, in our case, it's an integer. Then we have a name, which is a string, so str for string. Then we shall have a description, which of course now you know is a string also. And then we shall have a price, and the price is a decimal. And for decimal, we shall have to import it. So we shall say from decimal import decimal, like that. After that, we have the stock, which is also an integer, so int for integer. After that, we shall have class product create schema. So this will be for validating requests that are going to involve creating a product. So this will also inherit from schema, and then shall have a name, which will be a string. Of course, shall have a description, which is also a string. We shall have what next? Maybe a price, which is also a decimal like shown above. Then we shall have a stock, which is an integer. Okay, when we're done with that, we shall have another one called class order item schema, and this will be schema. Okay, and then we shall have the product underscore id, which is an integer, and then we shall have a quantity, if I can spell that right, which is also an integer. And then what else can we have here? We can have class order create schema. So this one is for responses, this one is for requests when creating a schema. I mean, when creating an order. So schema, then we can now say items, okay? Maybe a list of items, and say this would be a list of order item schema, okay? Item schema, like that. So that's how you can represent a list. Then when we're done with that, we can have our order schema, okay? So class order schema, and for order schema we shall say inherit from schema, and then after that this should be lowercase c. Then after that we can say this will have an id, which is an integer. Then this will have a total, which is a decimal. Then we shall have the status, which is a string. Then we can have created at underscore at, which is date time. Okay, so we need to import date time. And I just go at the top here and say from date time import date time, as simple as that. So next up we shall look at how to create basic endpoints.